Hello, thank you for coming back to Joshua Carter Performance, and my name is Joshua Carter. And again, on this page, we pretty much talk about fitness is our base of our company, but sometimes I will mix in other topics. And today, I'm going to talk about something that's very passionate to me, very important, I feel, and as an influence on my own personal weight loss journey, is an influence in my own personal life, and that's the topic of anxiety. Now, I know there's a whole host of other mental issues and mental illnesses that everyone deals with or that people deal with, and the one that the two that have played a major part in my life, and it's something as I go on my weight loss journey, it plays a part in my process, and those are anxiety and mild depression. I have become in the last 2 years aware of the anxiety and aware of how it shaped things in my life, from relationships with friends and relationships with women, relationships with family, the relationship that I have with myself. Self care, self love, self confidence, and it's very it's very eye opening. I will say, to look back on my life. I'm 34 now. To look back on being 14, 15, 16, and see how anxiety shaped so many things in my life and shaped so many I'll say so many outcomes up to this point, or well, up to like a couple of years ago. But it's very it's like I said, it's very eye opening. And for me, dealing with the things that I dealt with as a result of anxiety, such as lying, not knowing how to properly be in a relationship, and some of the issues that I dealt with, lack of self confidence, lack of self esteem, a lot of fears, a lot of shyness, and things like that. I dealt with those things as maybe that's just who I was. I never really got to the root of anything until, like I said, a couple years ago, when I started to notice my behavior patterns and some of the fears I was, demonstrating shouldn't have been, or in my opinion, shouldn't have been fears that a 33 or 32-year-old man dealt with. So for me, it was when I first got into entrepreneurship at 31, I noticed that I became very anxious about things that were really going to have a negative or positive impact on my business. And something like handing out flyers, or something like making a phone call to a company, or something like going to a network marketing event, or a networking for businesses event. Things like that would keep me up at night, would allow me to just lose focus on everything in front of me. It affected my parenting, it affected relationships, like I said. And now, as I did dive in to more research and understand what anxiety and mild depression does, I had pretty much all the symptoms, creating things in my head that never happened, using a past event to create something that I feel like could have potentially happened today. Not really trusting other people because I was such a habitual liar that I was lying for acceptance. I feel like there's different types of lying, but I was lying. I would create characters, create images of people to fit in, just doing things that I knew were out of character for who I was as a person. Um, and nothing wild, but I'm not a big partier, and that I think came from the anxiety. But if I drank a lot, or if I, psyched myself up for a few days, I could go to a party and have a good time. I've probably approached in my life. I'm 34. I've probably approached maybe 6 or 7 women in my life, just naturally, And I've never been told that I was weird looking. I've never been told that I shouldn't be confident. But I never knew how to draw that line between confidence, arrogance, immaturity, things like that. And I had to really figure this out. And I dove into it, and I saw that, anxiety, this is something that it makes me anxious. Social interaction makes me anxious. And social anxiety is a real thing. Now, I'm one of the type of people, I didn't want to take a pill for it because, that's just going to mask the problem. I didn't want to go, talk to a therapist or something like that, because I felt like that was just going to be a temporary fix. I had to really figure out who I was. First thing I had to do was stop lying. Not only lying outwardly, but lying inwardly. I knew I didn't. My first business was a landscaping business. I knew I didn't want to do that. I did that because I wanted to quit my job. I've always been passionate about fitness. and I didn't know how to get into it. I thought you had to, I didn't want to have to go back to college for 4 years just to become a personal trainer. I didn't know you could take a 6-week course and become a personal trainer. I didn't know you could get a book mailed to you online and take an exam whenever you felt like it. I didn't know all these things, but that was my lane that I was passionate about. I just let the anxiety win. I didn't want to ask questions. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to do that. And then I finally decided, last year at 33 that I'm going to dive into fitness. Like I said on previous videos, I started in 2012 with my fitness journey. I up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's something that, when I talk about it, I just get excited. But on the back end of it, I wanted to see how I could go in a space to inspire people from, where you might be now to how I look now, and show people the journey. But along the journey, I know for me, I get anxious about being in the gym, still to this day. And that's something I'm passionate about. So I did a lot of research. And when I say I get anxious in the gym, this means I don't want to see certain people. I don't like to go when it's extremely crowded. I don't like to ask for machines. I don't want to, I don't want to be in people's way, things like that. But I've had to train myself to know we're all in here for one purpose. Yes, I feel like fitness has become like a fad, a thing that people just want to dive into. But the people who are really passionate about changing their bodies and helping others, we're all in there for that same purpose. So my space to help people is with the anxiousness of going to the gym. I talk to people, well, not talk to people, but interact with people online and social media and things like that. And they say one thing that's holding them back from the gym is the anxiousness of going because they don't know what they're doing. And that is a real thing. I tell people all the time. Planet Fitness hit the nail on the head with that gym intimidation and no judgment-free zone and all that. They really hit the nail on the head because a lot of folks feel like when they go into a gym and they're out of shape and they have they don't, have a clue how to start, then they pay all that money for a personal trainer, and then they stop going once the personal trainer sessions are over, or, things happen when they stop going. But gym anxiety is a real thing. When I first went, the first time I stepped into a gym, February 26, 2012, I had no idea what to do. I went super late, like 11:30 p.m. I got on the treadmill. I had one of those fat suits. I had one of those on, not a fat suit, but like a sauna suit, like the things you wear that make yourself sweat a lot. I had one of those on. Like I said, I went at 11:30 at night. I didn't know anything. I didn't know proper form. I didn't, and I was so anxious that I was looking stupid on the treadmill that I ended up being there for like maybe 30 minutes and then I left. And that really was like the eye-opening moment for anxiety for me because I'm like, man, technically everybody is in here for the same purpose. Yeah, they may have the body already, but they're pushing their body to maximum performance. They want to get better at it. They're not the expert. They may know a lot because they've probably done this for 20 years and I've done this for 30 minutes. But, I had to get to a point of knowing that when I'm stepping in here, I have to block everything out. And how do you overcome that anxiety of going into the gym? For some of us, anxiety is so bad that it's a victory to get out of the house that day. Now add in trying to go to a gym. So for me, the way I got over it was continuing to do it. Repetition is just going to build habits. Repetition, routine is going to build a positive habit. Consistency, structure, some sacrifice is going to come in there. If you have to go to a gym that is 24 hours and you want to go super late when people are probably, gone to bed or, people are home with family, then that's what you have to do. But the way you're going to face this gym anxiety is exactly what I just said. You're going to have to face it. And I know that sounds easy. I know you're like, well, it's so easy. And I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound off the wall, but it is that easy. You don't have to talk to anybody when you go in there. You don't have to worry about people. If someone looks at you, don't leave. They may be looking at you because they've never seen you before. They may be looking at you and saying, congratulations. This person is trying to change their life. But getting out of that mindset to even be concerned about that. And I know us who suffer with anxiety, we worry about what other people think, on my level at least. But the first thing I have to do when I get up in the morning and I say I'm going to go to the gym, I have strategically figured out when the gym is crowded and when the gym is empty. I like to either go like super early, like 4 in the morning, or later in the evening, or midday. Being an entrepreneur, I can schedule my time in there. I can say, okay, I'm gonna go at 4 o'clock. I'll just not eat breakfast, or I'll do my cardio on an empty stomach, and then come back around 12:30 and go, depending on how the rest of my schedule looks that day. And if it's that important to you, and my biggest thing here, this is your journey, this is your process, take out all the complications. Just experiment. You know, if you're not a morning person, you're probably not going to stick with going to the gym at 4 or 5 in the morning. If you go to a gym that is only open from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., you have to figure out what time you can go in there. Again, common sense, common knowledge is going to tell you between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. is not the time you want to go if you're trying to face the social anxiety part of it. But if you feel like that may be a good environment for you, where it is extremely crowded, so nobody's going to be paying attention to you, then 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. But if you want to go and it's mellow, it's there may be 10 other people max in there, 5 right when the gym opens, or like that 8 a.m., 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and then that 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Typical hours where it's a very calm environment. During the days of the week matter too. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, most gyms are typically empty. Saturday morning is packed, but sometimes it'll be packed because people are taking the classes. But another way that you're gonna face this anxiety with going to the gym and changing your life and getting better, if the gym is not the option right now, I tell people this all the time: go on YouTube, find some home workouts. Try to find home workouts you can do with no equipment, and then train yourself to work out and be in an active, healthy lifestyle at home. And then if you feel more comfortable, once you kind of feel like your body may have that gym look, in your journey, you may feel, you may building confidence by doing this at home, then ease your way into the gym. I highly suggest also finding a gym that is like a Planet Fitness, like a Crunch Fitness. 24-hour fitness is another good one. I've had an LA Fitness membership, and for us who have the anxiety and gym anxiety is real, LA Fitness may not be the best option, but if that is your only option, it is a good option. But I would put that third on the list, or fourth. If you live in an area where they have a Crunch Fitness, a Planet Fitness, and there is a gym called 24-hour fitness, those top three, I've experienced all three of those. Even when it's crowded, it seems like it's empty because the gyms are so spacious, and it's a relaxed environment. Literally everybody in there. You may have that jerk or that a-hole who's in there who may be, looking and judging people, but that's everywhere you go. You have that person at work. You have that person in your family. Like, it's everywhere you go. But to get over this anxiety, again, point number one, you have to face it. Whether you're going to face it at home doing a home workout, or if you're going to face it by strategically going to the gym when the crowd is not going to be there. But the only way it's going to become something where it's routine is if you face it. If you get to the point like me where you start breaking out in sweats and you get to the door, then you want to turn around, just open the door and go in. Open the door, go in, go into the locker room, put your stuff down, come out, find a treadmill, headphones on, good playlist, walk it out, do your 30 minutes on the treadmill, get into the first thing, get into a habit of going. The know-how will come to you. You'll do your own research in your own private time, but get in the habit of going. Okay, so that's what I want to say. That's how my experience has been with facing it. It pops up every now and then where I get to the door and I'm like, oh, well, I want to go in. It's too crowded. But then I go in and I knock it out. And surprisingly, those are some of the best workouts when I'm feeling like really anxious, because I zone out and I don't pay attention to anyone. As much as I feel like they're paying attention to me, I look at it like I'm going to put on a show. So if you're going to watch me, you're going to get a show. So that's how, for us in this space here, that's how I want you guys to think. That's how I want you guys to operate. And if you always have any questions, I have a new Instagram that I'm going to use to centralize around fitness and anxiety, and it's called Fit Beyond Anxiety. So FitBeyondAnxiety. So, all right, let me start over. Fit Beyond Anxiety, and it's FitBeyondAnxiety. IETY, anxiety. Um, so yeah, that's our Instagram. We'll have a Twitter up here soon. I'm gonna keep everything on this YouTube channel. I may do another YouTube channel. I'm not sure yet. I want to kind of grow this one first, and we'll see what takes place. I know YouTube. That everyone's saying that YouTube is making things harder to grow now, but all social media platforms are. Instagram's changing, Facebook's changed, Snapchat's going to be dead in about a week. Twitter is like the only one that's going to kind of hang around, but nobody uses it except for celebrities. So again, face your anxiety, face that thing. I know it's one of the hardest things to hear, but I'm actually going to be doing a speech on March 15th to a bunch of kids about anxiety and how I'm trying to overcome it and what I'm doing to overcome it. And this is just my lane, guys. Like, this space of anxiousness and fitness, that's just my space. And I hope to be a vessel for you all. I hope to be a vessel for people who want to change and people who aren't going to take the medicine and aren't going to go lay on the couch and talk to a therapist. Let someone who's doing this with you be your therapist. Let someone who you can see every day on my Instagram stories, going into the gym, facing it head on, being in a relationship, bringing anxiety to a relationship, to, just dealing with it. And it's not an easy thing. I don't, we all are in this together. So I'm going to be the vessel for you all. And I'll put links in the description to how you can contact us. So I hope everyone has a great day, a great week. And again, just face this thing head on. Thank you.